Good day, students. I just want to start out by commending you for taking the time to go over this review questions. Hopefully, they help get you prepared for the test. Okay, let's go ahead and start with question number one. Um, it says if I is equal to the square root of -1, what is the value of 4i times -5i times 6i? All right, so let's multiply the numbers first. 4 times -5 times 6 is -120 times I to the third. All right, so what's I to the third? Well, we can break that down. -120 times I to the third is I squared times I. What is I squared? Remember, I squared is -1. I squared equals -1. So if I plug that in here, I'll have -120 times -1, and I is just I. Okay, so if you simplify this, your final answer, you're going to have minus times a minus, positive 120i. Okay, so remember, I squared is -1, I is just I. That tells you that I to the third is the product of these two, which is -I, and I to the fourth is just positive 1 because you times in I squared by itself. All right. Okay, let's move on to question number two. So for question two, actually we're going to do three. Question three, we have to find the vertex and x-intercepts of the function y equals 2x squared plus 4x minus 96. Okay, so we can attempt to find the x-intercepts. That's also known as a zero. So to do that, we just set this function to 0, and then we solve. Okay, so how do we solve this? We just factor using the x game. So let's break down every. Oh, well, if you notice, 2 can go into everything. So we can just divide everything by 2. So if I divide everything by 2, first, third, that's by 2. That's going to give me x squared plus 2x minus 48 plus 0. Okay. All right, then we're going to use our x game to factor this. So make an x. AC goes on the top, B goes on the bottom. So AC is -48 and B is positive 2. All right, so if you think about it, what two numbers multiply to give you -48 and now to give you 2? You can use 6 and 8, make the small one negative. All right, so put that back in here. We're going to have x squared minus 6x plus 8x minus 48 equals 0. Take it down the center and factor by grouping. So we have x times x minus 2 times 3 times x plus 2 times 2 times 2 times x minus, if I break down 48, I'll have 2 times 24, 2 times 12, 2 times 6, and then 2 times 3. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 twos, and then a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 3. Okay? All right. So from the first one, I can take out an x. So I'll be left with x minus 6 plus, from the second two, I can take out 8, and I'll be left with x minus 6. I took out 3 twos. 3 twos is 8. Okay? All right, so I'm going to have x plus 8 times x minus 6 equals 0. And we use the zero product property to finish this up to get the x-intercept. So we have x plus 8 equals 0, and x minus 6 equals 0. So you subtract 8 from both sides. Here you have x equals -8. And then this one you add 6. They have x equals 6. So our x-intercepts are 6 and -8. Okay. All right. Now let's move on to question number 4. We have to find the absolute value of a complex number. So it's number 4. We want to find the absolute value of, so we want to find the absolute value of 9 plus 8i. So all I just do, I'll call this A and call this B. So we're going to use the quadratic formula. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. I know A and B, I'm just looking for C, okay? So let's plug it in. I'll have C squared equals 81. I'm sorry, let's do the steps. I'm going to skip. We have 9 squared plus 8 squared, okay? So we have c squared equals 81 plus 64. Okay, we add it up, we have c squared equals 145. If c squared equals 145, you root both sides, and then you end up with c equals the square root of 145. And there goes your final answer. All right. Okay, let's move on. So let's take a look at question number 6. So for question 6, we have negative 3x squared plus 4x minus 4 equals 0. So we can try to solve this by grouping, but if you look at all the choices, you can see that we can't factor this using the x scheme. Okay, let's go ahead and try and see. Do you see that it's not going to work? So let's make our x. AC goes on the bottom, and then B. AC goes on the top, B goes on the bottom. So we have 12 and 4. If you look at all the factors, all the pairs that give you 12, 1 times 12, 6 times 2, and 4 times 3. This one is close, but it doesn't really work because this is positive and that's positive, so it can't work. All right. So since this doesn't work, we have to use the quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay. So in this problem, we know that a is negative 3, b is 4, and c is negative 4. Okay. So we're going to plug in everything. So we're going to have x equals negative 4 plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 4 squared, minus 4ac, 4 times negative 3 times negative 4, and the whole thing divided by 2a, which is 2 times negative 3. Okay? All right, let's simplify that. We're going to have negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 squared 16 plus, actually it's going to be minus because we have 3 minuses. And if you work out all the minuses, you end up with a minus. So minus 4 times 3 is 12 times 4, 48 over negative 6. All right. That simplifies into negative 4 plus or minus the square root of, subtract 16 from there, we have negative 32 over negative 6. Okay. So let's break down negative 32 and see what we get. So if we break down 32, we can take out the 2, 2 times 16, 2 times 8, 2 times 4, 2 times 2. These two 2's repeat, so they can break out as 1, 2. These two 2's repeat also, so they can break out as a 2. And then you're left with this 2 behind, okay? So your answer for this one is going to be, and then the minus comes out as an I, right? So you're going to have 2 times 2, which is 4i root 2 for the radical part. So you're going to have negative 4 plus or minus 4i root 2 over 6. Now what we're going to do is we're going to break it up into 2 parts. We're going to do the real part and the imaginary part. Okay, so for the real part, we're going to have negative 4 over 6 plus or minus 4i root 2 over 6. Okay, you divide it out, you have negative 2 over 3 because you divide top and bottom by 2. Divide this by 2, divide that by 2. So you have negative 2 over 3 plus or minus, same story here, divide top and bottom by 2, 2i root 2 over 3. Okay, so our answer for this is option C. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next problem. Okay, oh wait, I actually made a mistake here. B is 2a is negative, right? There's a minus down here, so let's put that in. So we have to keep that minus. It has to be a minus there. There's a minus here, and then there's a minus here. So this is a minus. So because of those 2 minuses, it divides out to just 2/3. Okay, 2/3. If you divide this by minus, it becomes plus. Or, still stays plus or minus because the minus becomes a plus and the plus becomes a minus. So 2i root 2 over 3. So the answer is actually A because of there's a negative downstairs here. All right, so there you have it. All right, let's move on. All right, let's try number 7. Number 7, we are supposed to reduce, work on the function x squared minus 3x over divided by x plus 6 times x squared minus 36 divided by x squared minus 9x plus 18. Okay, so we have to factor everything. Let's start from the numerator on the left. Numerator. The left numerator. So the left numerator is basically x squared minus 3x. So what we do is we break it down, x times x minus 3 times x. We can take out an x. So we take out an x, we're going to be left with x minus 3. So there goes the factored form of the left numerator. So we have x times x minus 3. The denominator is already factored, so we just leave it alone. I mean, it cannot be factored any further. All right, now let us look at the right numerator. Okay, the right numerator. So the right numerator is x squared minus 36. This is a square and this is a square, so you just root both of them. You plus or minus the square roots, okay? So you're going to have x plus 6 times x minus 6. That goes to the numerator. So x plus 6 times x minus 6. All right? Now, then the right denominator, I'm going to work it out right here. The right denominator, is given by x squared minus 9x plus 18. So what you do is you make your x. AC goes on the top, B goes on the bottom, negative 9. So what works here to give you negative 9, we can use 6 and 3. Make both of them negative. So we can put that in here. So we have x squared minus 6x minus 3x plus 18. Now we can break it down the center and factor by grouping. Okay? So break it down the center and factor by grouping. From the first two, we're going to have x times x minus 2 times 3 times x minus 3 times x plus, and if you break down 18, is 2 times 3 times 3. Okay? All right, so factor out x. From the first two, x times x minus 6. And then from the second two, you can take out negative 3. So negative 3, you have x minus 6. Okay? So this factors into x minus 3 times x minus 6. So that goes into the right denominator, x minus 3, x minus 6. Okay, so let's see what reduces. So you notice that x minus 3 goes here once, x plus 6 goes here once, x minus 6 goes here once, x minus 6 goes here once. Your final answer is x. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and try question number 8. It says, which of the following describes the translation from the function y equals x plus 4 squared minus 4 to y equals x minus 3 squared minus 9. All we need is to find the vertices and then graph them, and then we can see what the translation is. Okay, so the vertex from the start is negative 4, comma, negative 4. You take the opposite of this number next to the x and then bring down that number. And then over here, you take the opposite of this and then bring down the other number. All right, so let's go ahead and graph these and see what our translation is. So we make our coordinate system. Negative 4 is in the fourth quadrant, third quadrant, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. And go down to 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your starting point. And then 3, 9, you go to the right 1, 2, 3, and then go up 1, actually down. So go right 1, 2, 3, and go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So how do we go from here to here? If you do the count, you go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. So 5 units down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then go to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 units to the right. Okay, so 5 down, 7 to the right. The correct answer is option B. Okay? All right. Okay, let's move on to question number 11. Question 11, we have equation 5 over x minus 8 minus 2 over x minus 6. So since the denominators are different, I need to make them the same, okay? So the LCD of these two, I can't factor any of these, is going to be the product of these two, okay? So x minus 8 here, I'll multiply this by x minus 8 top and bottom. And then this has x minus 6, so I'll multiply this side by x minus 6 top and bottom, okay? And now on the top, I'll distribute this 5 to both of these terms. So I'll have 5x minus 30. And then let's leave the denominator in the factored form, x minus 6 times x minus 8. And then on the right side, I'll distribute the 2 to both terms. So I'll have 2x minus 16. And then we'll leave the denominator as x minus 6 times x minus 8. Okay, so we combine them. We're going to have 5x minus 30. Now, please do not forget to distribute this minus to both terms because that changes the sign. Okay, minus 30 minus 2x plus 16. And this whole thing divided by x minus 6 times x minus 8. Okay? If we reduce that, we'll end up with 5x minus 2x is 3x minus 30 plus 16 is negative 14. Okay? Our whole thing divided by x minus 6 times x minus 8. Okay? All right, so we can see that our answer is option D. All right, now let's move on to question number 12. You're supposed to factor that expression. So, for number 12, factor x minus 12 squared minus y squared. So to factor this, you read the first and the last. Read the first and read the last. And you add and subtract the square roots, okay? So if I read the first, I'll get x minus 12 plus y, and then x minus 12 minus y. So this is like a plus b, and this is like a minus b, okay? A is the square root of the first term, x minus 12 squared, which is x minus 12. And then b is the square root of the second term, which is just y, okay? All right, so our answer is going to be option letter B, okay? Okay. All right, so thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. Now you can go ahead and start on some